we'd pass shops and, you know, people are selling lemon dresses in the shop and everybody's like, oh, lemons, lemons, lemons. Did you get that here? That's awesome. You need another lemon dress. You need more lemons. I do need more lemons. I always need more lemons. Hi, and welcome back to Bedecked. I am Rebecca and Brian, but you can call me Beck. Apparently I have a guest today. My dog Toffee is just gonna chew her bone next to me right now. So I really hope that doesn't turn up in the audio, but I'm sure it will, so that is unfortunate. Today Toffee and I are recapping what I wore when I went to Italy. I will kind of remind you of what I packed and show you what I took, the outfits I took pictures of, tell you what worked, what didn't, what I wish I wouldn't have packed. First, let's go into my traveling outfit. Okay, apparently I did not take a picture of my traveling outfit, which is unfortunate, but what I ended up using on the plane was my cargo shorts from American Eagle, a white t-shirt, and like a fitted white t-shirt, and the sneakers that I did end up finding. Like the day before I departed, I got 2 more sneakers. I got a Dolce Vita and a Tom's, and I said, you know what? This is all I have time for. So if these don't work, I'm not going with white sneakers. The Tom's ones worked okay. Oh, and I wore a lemon scarf. So I wore my cargo pants, white fitted t-shirt, a lemon scarf, and then a trench coat. Because I wanted to save room packing, so I figured I'd wear the trench coat, and plus I figured I would be cold on the plane, which I was, so I'm glad I had a covering. However, spoiler alert to later, that is the only time I needed or wore the trench coat throughout the entire trip. So it had been raining in Italy and Rome a lot prior to the trip, but actually the whole time we were there, it only sprinkled for like 5 minutes in the Palermo leg of our trip. So I did not need a trench coat. I did kind of regret bringing the trench coat. Depending on the season, I could see it being useful, but I really would have preferred to have a light sweater on the plane, or maybe a bigger scarf even, instead of the trench coat. It was comfortable enough, but I really didn't need it. So I mentioned in my previous episodes all of the troubles we had with our travels, but the one good thing about having a couple extra days is that we were able to stop at Walgreens while we were still in the States and pick up some things that we needed. And it turns out two things that I needed were heel inserts for my shoes, because I wore the Tom's shoes walking through the Milwaukee and Chicago airports, and I noticed, and I guess Newark then too, and I noticed that my left heel was bothering me. It felt like I was stepping on a lump, like there was a lump in my left heel. I don't know what it was. It's the first time I'd ever felt that, so I don't know if it was a shoe or my foot, but anyway, we ended up stopping at Walgreens and I bought plantar fasciitis heel inserts and used those in the Tom's shoes. I also bought Band-Aids, which came in handy later. I still have not found, and it doesn't matter anymore, but I still have not found the perfect pair of white sneakers because those Tom's ones weren't as comfortable as I hoped they'd be. But once I had the heel inserts in them, they were fine. Well, our flight was canceled and delayed, and then I mentioned in the last episode that we drove from Newark to Chicago, so I had to use more clothes in the States than I had planned to. So we had to stop. We stopped at South Bend, Indiana, and there I wore my hiking shorts and the black bodysuit, the black Live Tall bodysuit I packed. So that is what I wore there, and my black sandals. They're waterproof, so I generally use them by the pool, but they're a little fancier than flip-flops. When we finally landed in Rome, what did I actually wear on that travel day? Honestly, I don't remember what I wore when I actually flew to Rome anymore because it's been so long. I think it was my cargo pants and maybe a tank top and the Tom's shoes again, this time with heel inserts maybe Band-Aids, I don't know. But the point is, once we got to the train station and I wanted to do the sightseeing and Fendi shopping, I changed into, I was going to wear, if you remember from my packing video, I was planning on wearing my Anthropologie shorts to Fendi. I ended up going with my Madewell pants because it was going to be in the 70s, the low 70s, I thought. So I thought maybe I'd be a little chillier. I could have worn the shorts, but I think the pants looked really chic. And then I also changed into my Fendi sandals because I was bound and determined to look chic the 4 hours I was in Rome. It's because I bought those shoes specifically for that. That is when I got the blisters because those Fendi sandals were not made for walking around. So the rest of the vacation, I had to deal with blisters on my big toes because I wanted to look good the first day. So would I say it was worth it? I would say it was worth it, but maybe I should have put the Band-Aids on sooner. The first dinner, I had packed, I think it ended up being 4 dresses. I packed 4 dresses. I ended up wearing, I ended up not doing as much, I didn't do any clothes shopping really. So I ended up wearing 3 of the dresses twice, which was not my plan at all, but it kind of worked. And I was able to switch them up enough each time that they were slightly different each time, you know, the second time I wore it. So the first time I wore this white dress was to dinner in Naples, and I paired it with my wide straw belt. And I think I was wearing my Ella Bean Birkenstock knockoffs, and I didn't know if those would be comfortable enough, but they were. Those were the shoes, the stars of the trip. Yes, I was super happy with those. No complaints whatsoever about those shoes. The next day is when we went to the Pompeii ruins, and that is when I wore my hiking. I pretty much wore exactly what I had planned to wear that day. My long sleeve, or I guess 3/4 length button-up shirt, hiking shorts, and my white Toms, again with the heel inserts, and my hat and sunglasses. So that day was really hot, so that outfit did sufficiently keep me cool even though it had sleeves. Yeah, I was definitely happy with that outfit that day. The hiking shorts are a little big on me, so I did have to, I put the white woven belt with those. Speaking of belts, did you see I'm wearing my new Fendi belt? Okay, so that night for dinner in Naples, I wore my black off the shoulder top. I wore my white Madewell wide leg pants, black Ralph Lauren belt, and black sandals from Target. The next day, Amalfi Coast. I had, like I said in my packing video, I had planned for this that I wanted to wear my lemon dress for the Amalfi Coast. So I did. Wear my lemon dress, my lemon hair clip that my daughter, my youngest daughter, found for me at Kohl's. And then my Ella Bean sandals, again with that. So feet were super comfortable all day. I was comfortable in my dress. Yeah, it was a perfect outfit for the Amalfi Coast. We'd pass shops and, you know, people are selling lemon dresses in the shop and everybody's like, oh, lemons, lemons, lemons. Did you get that here? That's awesome. You need another lemon dress. You need more lemons. I do need more lemons. I always need more lemons. Had to take a little break there to eat some Domino's pizza. Definitely not like what I had in Italy. Okay, this next outfit is kind of funny. It went through several different permutations. At this point in the trip, I had already kind of run out of tops. So I decided to wear a dress to fly from Naples to Palermo. I knew I wanted to wear this button-up dress from Kohl's. I decided to add a scarf, this lemon scarf that I had actually gotten from a friend when she went to Italy. So I decided I could not figure out what to do with this scarf because it's one of those big square like silk scarves that it's like, you look really chic if you figure out how to do it, but I did not. So I started off wearing the white woven belt, my Tom shoes, and the lemon scarf around my neck. That's how I started off. And I think I was tying it in different ways too. I had it like in front and then to the side and then to the back at one point. I was like Googling how to tie this scarf. I didn't know what to do with it. This is not the last time you'll see that scarf. That was to fly to Palermo, and then for dinner in Palermo, I switched the woven belt out for the chain belt, and I switched out my sneakers for my Chloe sandals. Now, I have a bone to pick with both fancy sandals. The Fendi ones, whatever, they gave me blisters. That's my own fault for walking around a whole city in shoes that should not be worn walking around a city. These Chloe shoes, I don't know what was wrong with the soles of these shoes, but it shed black, like tar, like rubber everywhere, like to the point where it was embarrassing. Like I was leaving black marks in our hotel room, on the bottom of the table in the restaurant, at the hotel bar. It was really bad. So I mean, yeah, they look really cute, but I don't know what their deal was. Okay, the scarf returns for the next morning in Palermo when we took transportation to get from Palermo to Shaka to the resort we were staying at. Here's how it started. Again, I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this scarf. Kind of like a handkerchief kind of situation. And my husband was like, well, it's a look. And this was the only time I wore the shorts on this trip, the Anthropology shorts. So I wore it like that, the handkerchief style to breakfast. Then I decided to tuck it in because I thought it looked a little less crazy that way. And then I decided to add a belt. So I was wearing this, and by the way, at this point I was still out of tops. So I decided to wear, that's why I wore the scarf as a top, and I wore my black swimsuit under it as a bodysuit. So I was getting a little creative at this point. I really needed to get to the hotel and do some laundry. In the end, I added a belt and I wore my black sandals with it. My black pool sandals with it. And that is what I wore to the welcome reception. However, at one point I decided to take off the scarf and loop it around my neck like a normal scarf. So yes, this scarf had a lot of different variations on this trip. And I don't know, let me know in the comments which way is your favorite and which way you think is the most cray. The welcome dinner, I wore my wrap dress that I brought and the black necklace I packed, which I believe I got from White House Black Market. The next morning was a pool day, at least for part of the day. Yes, that was our all-day pool day. So to go to breakfast, I wore my black off-the-shoulder top again. This is basically a version of what I wore in Naples to dinner, but I kept the black shirt untucked, didn't bother with the belt, and then wore the same white wide leg pants and shoes again, and just wore that over my swimsuit with the hat. So that was pool day. Dinner at the resort this night. My first of 3 dress remixes. I wanted to buy more clothes, but actually I'm pretty proud of how I remixed these in retrospect. I wore the button-up dress again and the wide straw belt and the Chloe sandals that get crap everywhere. And actually, our friend, my husband's boss's wife, wore the dress that I suggested she buy in Hawaii. So that was pretty cool that she brought that again. She looked great, of course. All right, so the next day was dress remix number 2. That was our wine tour day. This day I wore the white dress again, and the, I don't know, third or fourth time you're seeing this lemon scarf. This time I got this idea from a really chic looking mom I saw at the airport in Naples. I tied the lemon scarf around as a belt, and I wore my trusty LL Bean sandals and a hat because it was very sunny and warm that day. Yeah, and then later for dinner, we took a shuttle to go into town. So I wore my Madewell kind of tan wide leg pants. I wore my Fendi sandals again. More blisters. No, I had Band-Aids on this time, so it was totally fine. And my black Ralph Lauren belt and my black bodysuit that I had washed and dried it. So I did use those detergent sheets. They worked out okay. You do have to scrub, you do have to scrub things together. You can't just like, as I figured out, you can't just like swirl it around and expect it to clean. You do have to like scrub things together. So I did have to clean a couple things twice. And I did take a chance and used my Fendi bag. I was just very careful. My makeup looks very smoky this night. Apparently in Palermo, I lost my eyeliner because I could not find it once I got to the resort. So that was the end of my eyeliner, which was a bummer. I do know, like I am able to do eyeliner using eyeshadow with the right brush, but I had too thick of a brush. It was not working. It was just, earlier that day to the pool, I did wear my new cover up that I got from a boutique here in town. So that worked out great. Wore that a couple days. The only problem with the cover up though is the second day I wore it, which was the last day we were there anyway, it got stuck in the gear of the bike. So there was like a black line around about this long, like around the bottom of it. It almost looked like a tie-dye effect. So it kind of worked, and I didn't check if it got out in the wash, probably not. So that was kind of the end of that cover up. But it was really cute. And then let's see, the last full day. Yes, the last day, I think during the day I just wore a swimsuit and a cover up. But at night, the night in the castle, was the third and final dress remix I was doing. Again, I would have loved to have a new dress for this dinner, but actually I'm really glad I wore this dress. This dress got so many compliments. For this dinner, I added the chain belt instead of not wearing a belt, and I wore the Destructive Chloe sandals and my Ferragamo bag. And this time I put my hair in a side pony and used the lemon clip again. Big hit. The cobblestones at the castle did the soles in. They are gone now. They're totally disintegrated. I'm gonna have to get those shoes resold if I'm gonna keep them, or even if I'm gonna donate them, because they look like they're terrible. They're destroyed now, which is crazy. So, traveling home. For traveling home, I wore all white. I wore the white t-shirt that I tried to wear coming here, white pants, white shoes, and my compression socks, and my lemon scarf. I did not bother with the trench coat this time. I just chanced it, and as it turns out, I wasn't too cold on the plane. So that was it. That was what I wore on my trip. I'd say I probably packed the right amount of dresses. I think I probably packed one top too much. I did wear the brown tank top, although I didn't take any pictures. I'm pretty sure I wore that. I must have worn it when we were actually flying to Rome, I guess. But for some reason I didn't take any pictures. I did end up wearing both linen pants twice, so that was actually good. However, if I had only packed one, maybe I would have worn the shorts more often, which also would have been fine. So I was pretty good in the clothing department. I do think I nailed the number of shoes. I suppose I could have packed just one nicer pair of sandals, but I liked having the variety. I will say I did not use the white sneaker shoe cleaning kit at all, and I did not use the wrinkle release spray, shockingly enough. So I did roll my clothes, and I did hang them up right when I got to both hotels. So that, I guess that helped, because I don't think I looked too wrinkled and disheveled, surprisingly. Like I said, I didn't buy any clothes to speak of, just this belt, which I did not wear out there, but I am wearing here. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Bedecked. Tune in next week for whatever topic or book I decide to deck out next. Ciao!